Mindhunter is one of those shows that linger in your head long after you finish watching. It leaves you feeling like a changed person to who you were in the beginning. When people talk about what makes Mindhunter so unnerving, they often mention the amazing portrayals of real-life serial killers, such as Ed Kemper. And while these definitely help create this, I believe what really makes Mindhunter so creepy is the way it portrays empathy as potentially dangerous. Throughout the show, Holden attempts to understand the criminal psychology, and to do this, he needs to learn to relate and even empathise with the serial killers he is interviewing. However, as the show progresses, the filmmakers drop subtle hints of the impact his attempts to empathise with these psychopaths is having on his professional and personal life. At first, these signs are really small and arguably insignificant, such as Holden ordering an egg salad sandwich at a cafe just after the scene with Ed Kemper, in which Ed insisted he have an egg salad sandwich. After the next interview with Kemper, Debbie asks Holden about his relationship with his mother, placing him in a similar situation to Edmund Kemper in their previous interview. However, the impact of his work starts to get more serious during the Beverly Jean Shaw case when they are investigating Benjamin as a suspect. As they discuss the notion that Beverly being with more partners than Benjamin might have been a motive for him killing her, we see Holden start to exhibit feelings of inadequacy about his sexual history compared to his partner Debbie's.
How many people do you sleep with?
Let's not.
A lot?
What difference does that make?
Holden's increasing suspicion of Debbie results in him going to one of her university projects, and then just watching her as she sits in a compromising position with one of her classmates, very similarly to the way Monte Rissel just watched his girlfriend and her new lover.
He only watches her with her new beau.
We also see his interview style change from inquisitive and curious to obscene and vulgar. In the finale, when Holden is attempting to get a confession out of Jean Devier for the rape and murder of a 12-year-old girl, he directly quotes Ed Kemper.
Make it with that young pussy real quick before it turns into mom.
You gotta make it with that young pussy before it turns into mom.
Notice how eerily similar their delivery of this line is. Even Shepard notices this change.
I never again want to listen to a tape where I can't tell the difference between my agent and some incarcerated lowlife.
Whilst some of these might seem like small, irrelevant subtleties, they all paint a bigger picture, indicating the impact Holden's work and attempts to relate to the psychopaths he is interviewing has on his life. And whilst the large effect this has on Holden's life is one of the main focuses of the show, this also affects other characters. Even though Bill exhibits little empathy and attempts to distance himself from the serial killers, we still see the effects of his work on his family life. However, the filmmakers don't stop with the characters. They also implicate the audience through their journey alongside the protagonist, Holden Ford. People watch movies and TV shows for many reasons, some for escapism, entertainment, but one of the biggest reasons is empathy. We watch movies and television because we want to witness life through someone else's eyes. We want to understand them, to relate to them, and when it comes to Mindhunter, we have to relate to Holden. His ultimate goal is the same as one of the main reasons we watch the show: to understand the criminal mind. It's his obsession with fully comprehending the criminal psychology that leads to his downfall, and it's scary because it's so relatable. Not only do we get to witness his downfall, but we are brought along with him. We begin the show knowing the same amount of information on criminal behaviour as Holden does, and as he learns more, so do we. And as Holden gains more knowledge, he starts applying it to situations which you conventionally wouldn't apply it to. Take the principal investigation, for example. Viewed from contemporary standards, it seems obvious that the principal should have been fired straight away, even if he just tickled one kid and paid them for it, let alone multiple kids, and continuing even when parents insisted that he stopped. But none of the other characters except Holden seem to get this. They think he's paranoid, trying to apply what they've learnt from serial killers to a principal who tickles children's feet. And it begs the question, Are we becoming paranoid through what we've learnt in the show? There is never a black or white resolution to this case either. We never get to see whether the tickling would result into anything, or if it was just harmless. Even after the principal was fired, the filmmakers never make a clear judgment on whether it was the right thing to do. In the interview scene with Richard Speck, when Holden tries to relate to him using obscene language, the director uses a shot from the perspective of Richard Speck. Not only are they showing that Holden is successfully empathising with Speck, but also implicating the audience through the point of view shot. Towards the end of the finale, Holden's life starts to crumble. His job is on the line, his relationship is over. And what does his first impulse tell him to do? Go see Ed Kemper. He has been so absorbed in this crazy world that he has lost touch with the normal. He has spent so much time trying to understand and relate to the criminal mind that now he shares more in common with people like Ed Kemper than he does with his colleagues and his ex-girlfriend Debbie. Then after Ed asks Holden, "Why are you here?" and hugs him, Holden realises this and that his work has affected him to such an extreme extent. His world then comes crashing down on him as he runs out of the room, and the camera for the first time in the season is handheld and shaky, mirroring Holden's mental breakdown. All the negative manifestations of his empathy for psychopaths happen so subtly that, like Holden, we didn't even notice until it was too late.